You are highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstition, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Here, I try to dive deep into various subjects in African spirituality and try to dissect them with the aim of bringing a better understanding to these subjects. Today, I will be talking about possession, the phenomenon of possession, what it is, and types of possession I have come to discover in African spirituality, especially in the voodoo practice, or the Igbe practice in West Africa. First of all, this phenomenon of possession is a very, very popular phenomenon in African spirituality, not only in African spirituality, in almost all spiritual systems in the world. This is a situation whereby another spirit or a spiritual entity or a foreign body is said to enter into a human vessel and possibly takes control of that vessel, that human body, for a while, whereby that entity will be the one that will be actually interacting through the person, doing things, talking, and just basically animating that person while the original consciousness or spirit of the person will be asleep, or they may probably be pushed out of the body for a while. So this phenomenon is one thing that is very prevalent in spirituality. And today I want us to talk about it. It's something that I have been studying for quite some time now, and I've actually also experienced it happening. If you are a religious person or a spiritual person, even if you are a Muslim or a Christian, you would have experienced this once in your life, whereby you have seen yourself in a church or in a religious house that you see somebody speaking in tongues, some people misbehaving, jumping around, rolling on the floor. The next thing you have, you say this person is possessed by the Holy Spirit. We see it in Christianity all the time. However, they claim that their own possession is pure one of a good spirit, while all other possessions is by demons. Any spirit that is not from their own Christian pantheon is an evil spirit, according to them. Nathaniel, how are you doing? Welcome to the live chat. This is your topic I am talking about, so you can ask questions as I am speaking as well. You are highly welcome. So Christianity recognizes possession. You see many so-called men of God, rather men of dogs, or so-called holy people. They all claim that they are possessed by the Holy Spirit, that they have the unction or the anointing of their own Holy Spirit, of the Jesus of Nazareth. That is why they are doing what they are doing. Based on that possession, they claim that they have divine power to do things for people, to perform what they call miracles, to heal the sick, to see visions, to raise the dead, to do all sorts of supernatural work. These are things that cannot be explained by the human science or cannot be conceived by the human mind. They all claim that this power that they have came from being possessed by these so-called Holy Spirits. So that is their own belief. If you go to other religious systems, Islam, you might see a little bit of possession there. You go to Hinduism, you see possession. You go to all other kind of religion. There's possession in almost every religion we mention. In African spirituality, we also have possession as well. So what I am talking about now is the type of possession that is prevalent or that I have experienced in African spirituality. In African spirituality, the possessions that we have seen have been able to identify like three types. The most popular one that you will find is when you go to a ceremony, when there's a festival ceremony, and there's a lot of people that are around, and maybe they are venerating a particular deity, or somebody is doing a traditional festival. During these festivals, you see people dancing, and there's a lot of invocation of different deities. During the ecstasy of the celebration, giving offerings, pouring libations, people are dancing very, very vigorously. You will see it will get to a point whereby one or two people will start being possessed, whereby their behavior will change, and a certain spirit will come into them, and then they will start doing things that you know that they cannot do normally. Then they will start saying things that things you know that this person does not know. Start speaking different languages. Most times they speak language that you understand, but they start prophesying, seeing visions, talking about things that are happening in people's life, and talking about the solutions of how to solve those things. We see this in different festivals. If you have been attending African traditional festivals, you will see this a lot. Different deities will come into different people, and then the deity will start speaking through the person, and they'll be talking to the crowd, be talking to people around there. Sometimes they'll be touching people, they'll be healing people, actually doing spiritual work to solve problems in people's life, or giving messages to people. We get that a lot in African spirituality. So if you want to experience this kind of possession, you need to be going to festivals where they do African ceremonies, especially the ones that take place during the night time, the evening time, the night time. That is when most of these deities actually manifest in the body of people. So it's a very real thing in African spirituality, and it happens, and it happens very, very, very much. We have seen different deities come down to possess different people, and they also walk through these people. Then after the festival, or after some time, the spirit will leave the body of the person. And when the spirit departs, the person does not remember what he or she have done. Sometimes it will get into them, they will start dancing in a way that they cannot dance physically. Sometimes their body, you can see somebody that may not be walking properly, will walk very well. You can see some kind of a strange behavior. People can be twisted, their body can be contorted in a very, very strange way that you know that this is humanly impossible. You will see that kind of thing happening. You will know that this is not normal. You will see the person speaking things that you know that these are things that there's no way this person can know this type of things. You will see them doing this. So this possession is very, very real, and it happens in especially in African Voodoo festivals. You go to them, you see these kind of things happening. Then another possession that I've come to discover is this situation whereby during deep meditation, deep meditation whereby somebody is meditating and been meditating for a while, trying to make contact with a certain deity, and the meditation gets so deep that the person gets into a state of trance. Uh, he gets into a state of trance, and another spirit, the spirit that is trying to make contact with, now get into the body of the person, and then the person start using the body to communicate and to interact. So this is another form of possession that also happens. But this possession is easy, and it's the way people self-possess themselves, whereby you kind of invoke a deity, you summon a deity and you invoke the deity into you, so that you can be able to get a closer interaction with that spirit. That also happens as well. One thing you need to know is that This it's not easy for a spirit to get into somebody. For a spirit to actually come into somebody, the person has to be very, very open, and the person has to be in the mood. And it is very rare that the spirit comes into somebody and they don't want to leave. Normally, they leave. There's a thing that one thing I come to discover: most of these spirits cannot stay inside the body for so long because it is not their natural abode. So they have a limited time to be in that person. So once they come into the person, it doesn't take time. It doesn't get more than, most times I've seen within not more than 30 minutes. If it's too long, 1 hour, less than that, they always go back. They don't stay long inside the body of the person. I've never seen any case that the spirit comes into somebody and they don't want to leave. I've never seen that kind of case. Contrary to what we see in Hollywood movies, whereby horror movies, whereby they will see somebody that they say is demon possessed and the person will be possessed for days. I don't understand that. Most of these things we see on movies, they are not actually real. And the kind of spirits we deal with in African spirituality are not those kind of spirits. The spirits in African spirituality, they don't take over somebody's body for the rest of their life. The possessions that people normally experience are not long. Within a fraction of maybe 30 minutes, not more than an hour, the spirit comes in and then they leave to wherever they go, they came from, and the person becomes normal. It is not a very prolonged thing. I've never seen a spirit that comes into somebody and decide to stay. For whatever reasons, these deities, maybe they don't like to be here that long, or they cannot stay as long as they would love to stay. So it does not happen that way, that the spirit will possess somebody and just take over the person's body and then they don't want to go back. I've never seen that case in African spirituality. I believe many practitioners have not seen that as well. You can try to ask them, find that it's a very funny. I wonder how that case is going to be. Normally, the way souls come into this planet, if they want to stay long, they have to be born. Any spirit that want to incarnate on earth, there's only one way for them to come. They have to be born through a woman. They have to come through a woman. They have to be conceived, and they have to be giving birth, a natural birth process. I've not seen any situation whereby a soul will just jump into another person's body or fall down from the sky, as in that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, just fall from the ground and start living. You have to come through a woman. That is the only gateway. So if any of these deities want to stay on this earth, they have to still be delivered through a woman. The woman is the only gateway whereby every soul, every human soul comes through this planet. So that is as far as I know. This possession thing that happens is a very, it's not a long process. It's a very temporary thing, whereby a spirit, it's a veil that you open by making contact, by mixing things or compounds, so doing certain rituals to draw the spirit into this physical plane. The spirit can only come for a limited time. Once that effect of what you have done begin to wear out, they must go back to where they come from. They cannot stay longer than that. They have to go back, especially if they are coming into a human body, a human vessel. For them to stay long, you need to keep redoing whatever you are doing to make them stay longer. If not, they always go back. That is what I know. Okay. Hi, David Hagwa. Welcome to the chat. I'm happy to see you here. It's a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. And the third kind of possession that I have actually experienced is a kind of possession whereby takes place, maybe the person is in danger. This is usually when you find yourself in a dangerous situation, life and death situation, whereby you're at the point something bad want to happen to you. All of a sudden, a spirit will just take over you, and you will be able to do things that you could not have possibly done by yourself. and you will get over that situation. This could be in a situation whereby you might be attacked by some people and they wanted to kill you, or you're in a very dangerous situation. Somebody want to cause gravely, serious, grave harm to your life or to your body, and all of a sudden, a spirit will just come from nowhere, just take over you, and you, before you know, you start fighting those people. The kind of strength that will come into your body is superhuman strength, and you will just find the strength to overcome that circumstances. And after you have been able to overcome that circumstance, the spirit will leave you. Then people will be asking you, what happened? How did you solve this? How did you have the power to do this? The person is in question will not even know how he did it. This could be probably your guardian spirit. It can be another, your guardian angels, can be your ancestors, can be maybe a deity you have been venerating that want to help you. We just get into you and you find the strength to overcome that very thing. Then after you have been able to overcome that danger, the spirit will now leave your body. Even you will be questioning yourself, how did I do this? How was I able to do this very thing? You cannot even be able to explain. So this kind of possession, people have also recorded this as well. And we don't know how it happens. You don't invoke any spirit, you don't do anything, you just find out that something just got into you, then you did something, and then the spirit left. You don't know who they are, you don't know where they come from, but you know that whatever happened was not by your own doing, was not by your own capacity. It was a sort of divine intervention. This situation is also common as well to most people. I've experienced it. I have experienced something like this too. So it's a form of possession, and it happens like this. It could be maybe adrenaline rush, that will to survive. That is what stimulated that force to make you overcome that very obstacle, that very thing at that very time. It could be a scientific explanation for that. It could be a very strong will to survive, to make you pull through, that stimulated that very force that made you to be able to overcome that circumstances. We can explain it in that way as well. But it's also a form of possession, because when during this type of a situation, the person cannot recall how they were able to solve the problem. We have seen cases whereby people got into serious accidents, and something that's supposed to kill them, they were able to come outside of it. You can see a situation whereby a car can fall on top of somebody, and then the person will find the strength to raise the car, something that they cannot carry with naturally. They will raise that very heavy object and move out of that place, and then they will wonder, how was I able to raise this? Where did I get that strength from? We can see situations where some people were attacked by maybe hand robbers and they wanted to kill them. The person will find the strength to fight these people and beat all of them, even kill some of them. Then later on, they will wonder, how was I able to do this? I don't know if I have this capacity. They will not be able to explain how they were able to overcome their attackers. This is another form of possession, but it happens. So these are the three types of possessions that I have been able to catalog and encounter in African spirituality, and they do exist. The first two is induced, the one you go to the ceremony and there's drums, there's spirits that have been invoked everywhere, and you see the party spirits going on. You see different kind of rituals going on. Before you know, spirits start coming out, and they start getting into people, just like that, and start saying it is the purpose of this possession is to actually bring the spirits or the deities to closer contact with humanity, and also to be able to do whatever work they want to do in the life of people. During those situations, if there's any problem in your life, this spirit can tell, they will just tell you straight, this is what is wrong with you. This is what you need to do to solve that problem. And if you are a bad person, the spirits, they will just expose you. They will just tell you, people everything you are doing. They will expose all your secrets. That is why most cases these evil people, the people we call witches and wizards, people that do evil, they don't like to go to traditional festivals. They hate it because anytime they know that these spirits come, they are going to expose whatever evil they are doing in those festivals. We have seen it many times. There are cases whereby some people are doing some kind of abominations, people that are sleeping outside their marriage, some people doing sleeping with their daughters or incrests, they go to that kind of place. The spirit will expose them. People that are doing evil in the community, once they go there, the spirits will, when the spirits come, just see you there, they will just start telling telling you exactly what you are doing. They will tell everybody your secrets if you are a bad person. So these bad people, they don't go to those kind of ceremonies because they know that they are going to be exposed. So most evil people, they don't like going to these traditional ceremonies. So if you go there, it's a good place to go because if they are doing these ceremonies, because that way you don't have to kind of pay consultation fee to spiritualists. You just get everything you get for free by attending those ceremonies. You just get free consultation directly from the spirit. You just get good stuff, and it is good like that too. And you also get to experience a lot of things during those kind of ceremonies. Okay. So they are really good way. They are really good things. I don't see any bad thing with possession, except that the spirits that comes in. Most times you don't have those evil spirits we see in movie coming in. All the possessions I've seen in these settings, they are actually good spirits. I don't see anything wrong with possession, except that if the spirit the person is working with are these evil spirit, those spirits of destruction, of wickedness. So person that are being possessed by those spirits of wickedness, we only bring wickedness and evil into this physical world. They will bring nothing good into the physical world. But if you are working with good spirits, there's nothing wrong with the phenomenon of possession. I don't see any drawback. I don't see any evil thing. I don't see any negative effect with it. As far as the person are working with spirits of light, spirits of peace, love, progress, and development, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so that is my take on this topic of possession. Any questions? If you have any questions on the topic, please, you are free to ask. Okay, I will soon be leaving to start my day. So that is possession for you. We have possession in almost every spiritual systems. There have been different type of possessions, and almost all of them are for the same thing. It's deity getting into somebody and talking through the person, interacting with the person. I've never seen a situation whereby the deity will be wanting to be in the body for longer than an hour. I've never seen that kind of situation. And I don't see anything also wrong with possession as far as the spirits are good spirits. Okay. So this is my take on this topic today. Mhm. Okay. Somebody's asking Wendy, what is the long-term effects where they possess kids? Some kids can actually be possessed as well. There's no long-term effects, but say if the children are possessed, they also see visions, the deity interact through them, then the deity will go. The long-term effect is that if you have been in contact with a deity that way, it means that you kind of have a connection with that deity. For that deity to be able to possess you, it might be that it might be one of your ancestral deity. You might be connected to that deity by blood, or you must have a very strong connection with them. So the deity might also be part of your guardian angel, your patron. So you need to be venerating that deity to make the contact closer, because the deity will be working with you. It will naturally be deity that you are supposed to be working with. We don't get possessed by deities that we are not connected to in a way. It's very, very rare for that to happen. Okay. So yes, if you walk alone, is you can still make contact with deities in a trance. It is very easy. When you do meditations, sometimes when we do deep meditations, we come in contact with deities. There's nothing wrong with doing it. I have done it many times. One of my way of communicating with deities is to go into a state of trance. When you try to meditate and you go into a state of trance, that is where you begin to hear them and see them. So far, there have been no danger. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's the best way. You can do it on your own in your privacy of your room. There don't need to be any large ceremony. That is the best way for you to even make contact with deities. Best time is in the nighttime, where everywhere is quiet. That 2 to 3, let's say a 1 to 3, that is during the time the veil between the spirit world and the physical world is the thinnest. That is the best time to actually make contact with deities in a way. There will be very little distractions. Okay. So I didn't see the last question. Somebody was asking a question before about sexually abused kids in African spirituality in systems. If they have children that are in that situation, what they need is counseling. They need a lot of counseling, guidance and counseling, and emotional support to make them overcome that kind of situation. So you, for somebody that is asking any spirits will get angry to harm you, ancestor spirits, you don't really, if you and that very ancestor spirits are in good terms, I don't see why they want to harm you. When you're making contact with your ancestral deities, you only make contact with the ones that you are in good terms with, okay? Because some people can die angry and they can still have a grudge. So if you know that this person does not really have your good interest at heart, you should not call them. Yes, you can use Vivis to connect. I use Vivis a lot. Me, in my situation, I travel a lot, as you can see. So most of my shrines, they are temporary. So I cannot be able to have standing shrines in this many places I go to. So I just get Vivi, put it on the wall, and I use it as a focal point for communicating with the deities, and it works. I already have a very strong blood connection with the deities, so can easily connect with them. They are always with me. So Vivis can be a way of focusing on them and doing your work. By you living your life in harmony with them, you're also doing the work of the ancestors, the work of the spirits, and they will always be with you. Okay. Okay. It is possible if one spirit can possess another spirit. The way you're supposed to ask is as if a spirit can be able to take possession of another deity, what will happen is that the deity one can push another one out and take the place of that one, whereby we have to bind that other spirit. It is very possible, and it happens. We have situation whereby powerful deity might come into your space and try to take over your space. If you are not so, how will I say, if you are not so observant, a deity that you are not actually venerating can be able to come into your space, take over your old altar, take over your shrine. It happens. Even a human being can also do that as well. A person that is well vested in a spiritual practice can send other deities to come to be speaking to you, to kind of deceive you. It is very, very possible. Like that, deities can take over space. But once again, you need to focus on where you give your attention. Anywhere you focus your attention, that is where your energy goes to. So if you are venerating a deity, you already know the personality or the characteristics of that deity. And you now have a routine whereby you start hearing a strange voice that is asking you to change that routine. You should suspect that something is going on. If you have a system that has been working for you perfectly, then thereby another spirit wants to come to change everything. Just know that this spirit wants to take over. and you should not allow that to happen, because most times it may be detrimental to you. It is possible for a spirit to chase out another spirit. It is very, very possible, and it happens. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, actually, those or items or any kind of item can be infused by spirits, hamlets or rings, necklace, any kind of vessel. You can be able to house a deity. Most times, people use a status. The thing is that the item is supposed to be like a physical representation of that deity. It is supposed to be a place whereby when you look at this item, you look at this statue, you can be able to conjure the deity in your mind's eye. And this focus, this energy is supposed to be strong enough to draw that deity into this physical world. So that is the essence of these items that we use. Is simply a focal point for bringing the deities closer to us, or to kind of personalize or assimilate the characteristics of those deities into us in a certain way. Thereby, you can call it a form of possession, trying to invite the deity into your life, into your person. Most times, we almost often develop the characteristics of the deities that we venerate, most times because your attention is always on them. You're very fascinated and most probably obsessed with them. So it's only natural that you will start behaving like them in a certain way to a certain extent. Okay. And when you start giving offering and doing things, you're also empowering that connection, making it stronger, giving them enough strength or enough power for them to be able to work, to be able to do things in this physical plane, giving them what they need, the fuel that they need to act in the physical plane. That is your energy, your attention, the offering that you are giving to them. That is what they are using to work in the physical plane. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, so photographs are exactly the same thing. Photographs works well, just like status. What they do is that as far as you're looking at the picture, same way you're looking at the status, they work exactly the same way. So you can use photographs to supplement the status. I use photographs a lot. If you cannot find the statue, you just draw the photograph. If you can draw it, it's better. If you can print it out, it's better. You can use that as well. So it will still work. What matters is the connection that you make, the strength of that connection, the strength of the frequency, the strength of the vibration. You draw the photograph, you invoke it, or you put some blood on it, possibly your blood, to actually give it life. And then you have been able to presence that deity very well inside that photograph. It now becomes an idol and becomes a powerful focal point for you on your altar as well. So that is how they do it. Same thing you do with the CJ. Same thing we do with the photograph. I even prefer the photograph more than the CJ. CJ, most times we have just one meaning. Photograph have a lot of things you can be able to incorporate into them. So photograph is very, very good way of focusing. Okay. So any more questions? So in that case, I think I'll hand to this live chat. Let me do some things for today. So it's a pleasure seeing you guys online. I am very, very happy and delighted. I hope that we can be doing this more often. And if you have any topic that you want us to talk about, you can also bring the topics so that we can talk about it. Okay. So Wendy, how to know to show gratitude to offerings? It's normal to show. Normally, you give these offerings every week, or maybe when something good come into your life, something you have been praying to or petitioning the ancestors for, you can show gratitude by giving offering to them. The offering involves cooking a little food for them or doing a little charity work for people or less privileged people. It can involve you giving offerings in the river. That is way of showing your gratitude. Maybe you made a vow to a certain deity that if this happens, I'm going to do this. When it happens, you do exactly that. Okay, so that is how we show the gratitude. Okay, so let's all sign out today. It's already 35 minutes, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So I'm very delighted, and if you like to know more about African spirituality, please join my website www.kindoki.net. I already had a lot of videos there where I do a lot of offerings and how to make contact with the deities. I have a lot of videos there. Please sign up for that course so you can learn how to practice African spirituality from the comfort of your home from any part of the world. And I also do spell work and consultations as well on African spirituality issues. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.